And so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our free session today called How to Advance Your Career Without Working More Hours. I'm really excited that you are here joining me today in this session. So I am Andrea Jansen. I am the CEO of Ambition Theory. I am a certified executive coach. I am a mom. I am the founder of Ambition Theory, which is a professional development company that was started in 2018. And we work with mostly women and helping them to level up in their careers through coaching, leadership training, and professional development and community building. I'm really excited to be here today. I'm also a Forbes contributor, so you can read my Forbes articles that talks a lot about coaching, professional development, and what it takes to lead in what is going on right now. It is kind of an interesting time as we are kind of moving out of this pandemic. Things are reopening, work is changing a little bit, and we're going to be talking about that today. My business partner is Jody Millen. She is the Chief Growth Officer at Ambition Theory, and she is a business development expert. And when we joined forces, so Ambition Theory started as just me by myself as Andrea Jansen Professional Coaching, and it got to a point where I realized I wanted to take the company bigger, and I needed someone to do that. And that's where I found my beautiful business partner, Jody Millen. She's not here joining us today, but I want to tell you about her. Jody is a business development expert, because here is the truth. Business is built on relationships with people. It doesn't matter how good you are at your job. And something that happened to me is I was really good at speaking. So when I was working by myself, I did a lot of talks, I did a lot of workshops, I did a lot of coaching engagements with companies. And after, I would get this feedback that said, Andrea, that was the best workshop we've ever been to. That was so great. Everybody's still talking about it. I remember I got feedback from one company and it was 3 months later and they said, people are still talking about the workshop you did for us 3 months later. But did any of them buy another workshop from me? And the answer is no. And that's when I met Jody. I knew if I wanted to take the company to the next level, if I wanted to figure out how do you actually navigate corporate environments, I needed somebody that knew how to do it. And that is the beautiful Jody Millen. So she is a business development expert. She can navigate relationships. She can figure out how to access people that can make decisions. And so we joined forces in September of 2020, and that is how Ambition Theory came to be what it is today. So in our company, we have the coaching. I'm the expert at coaching. So I ask the really hard questions, help you figure out where you want to go. And Jody is the one that helps you to leverage relationships, figure out who are the people that you need in your corner to actually make the things happen. Because the truth is, success in anything never happens alone. So that's a little bit about our company. We also have the fabulous Sandra Grillo, who I will introduce later on in the presentation. She is our manager of member success, and she joined the company in March. So a couple ground rules. If you've been to an Ambition Theory event, if you've been to an Ambition Theory thing anywhere in the past, you know our ground rules, but I want to go through them with you today. So the first one is we are going to get out of our comfort zones, because that is where the magic happens. So I'm going to ask you some pretty hard questions. And you might be thinking, why is she asking me these questions? Why is she challenging me to think about things this way? I don't want to participate. I want to kind of, sit back. I'm just going to passively listen. I'm not actually going to do the work. I want you to lean into that feeling. So if you have this idea that you don't want to participate in the chat, or even feel free to turn your microphone on and talk. We have a really small group today. That is actually a sign that you're entering that magic zone. So that's the place where you're going to grow, you're going to learn something, and you're going to create an opportunity. So before we go any further, I just want to check in with all of you, and you can type in the chat if you're okay about getting out of your comfort zone today. So just let me know in the chat. I'd love to know if you're okay with this rule. Yeah, so Jen sure is. Tanya says, sure. Yep, awesome. Okay, so we can move forward. I'm excited that you are here, ready to get out of our comfort zone and Zoom. And the second rule that we have is no judgment. Because here's the thing. When you get out of your comfort zone, when you're doing something new, there's always room to judge. It's scary. You're trying something new. You've maybe never done it before. Maybe you've never thought about something this way before. There's always room for judgment. At Ambition Theory, we don't judge. So I am not going to judge you. I don't want you to judge each other. And the most important thing is I don't want you to judge yourself. It's really easy to compare yourself to other people, to compare your progress to where other people are at. And we can be very, very hard on ourselves. So is everyone okay with this no judgment rule? So I'm not going to judge you. Don't judge each other. And most importantly, don't judge yourself. And if you're typing in the chat, if you're turning your microphone on and talking, I am going to call you out if I hear you judging yourself or judging others. And feel free to call people out if you hear judging as well. So is everyone okay with the no judgment rule? Just let me know in the chat. Yep, Tanya says, sure, awesome. Jen says, yes, awesome. So I will move forward. So the next one is we are actually recording. Adriana says, no judgment, exclamation mark. Awesome. Yes, the no judgment rule is very, very powerful. You can use, like, I want you to use it for this hour that we have together, but also you could take it with you for the rest of your day. It's important to note that we are recording this video. In coaching, confidentiality is a part of coaching, but because this is a free session, because some people couldn't make it live, we are recording it. So just wanted to let you know. So we're recording this session, but when you are one of our clients, with our clients, we don't record things when there's coaching. Oh, Tanya can only stay 30 minutes. No worries. Actually, and you said, sorry, we don't apologize at Ambitions Day. So just thank you for showing up. And also, a part of that no judgment rule is if you're eating lunch, you need to leave early, that is totally fine. I'm just happy to see you, happy that you showed up today. So I'll go a bit quicker so that we can kind of get through this faster. So Tanya, you can experience everything. So before we go any further, I wanted to just check in with all of you if there are any elephants in the way. So before we can really learn anything, before we can dive into the content, it's important to just expose the elephants. And the elephants are things that could be blocking you. Elephants are things that are in the way of you making progress. Sometimes they're things that are internal, like maybe you're experiencing imposter syndrome or self-doubt, or sometimes they could be external, like, you know what, maybe you don't know what the back to the office plan is at your company and you're confused and nobody's making a decision, but everybody kind of knows that underlying feeling is going on, that it stops you from making progress and making decisions. So before we go any further, I just want to see if there are any elephants that you have today, because exposing the elephant is the first step.
Can we just talk?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we have a small group. Hi, Jen.
Hi. My colleague April Hazan actually recommended that I start following your work, and she's a big fan. So I just wanted to.
Oh, amazing!
Let you know
that. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, I have several elephants in the way. I think like the biggest thing is this pandemic and working from home for 16 months has just made me completely reevaluate my entire life, and I literally have no idea what I want to do.
Okay.
So it's like I feel very, very, very stuck.
Okay, you feel stuck. Like there's something like that clarity. So is the elephant like the clarity and the plan? That's the elephant, right? It's kind of in there. There's no plan, right? So you don't know, and there's like
there's no plan, and I've been doing what I do for a really long time, and I don't know if I want to continue doing that or if I should be doing something else, and I just feel really stuck.
Okay, so I
have a lot of decisions to make, and I don't know.
Decisions. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Jen. Thank you for getting that. So the first step is showing up, exposing the elephant. So I just want to acknowledge that you did that. So thank you for sharing that. Are there any other elephants? Tanya says, there's so many elephants, it's hard. Okay, Tanya, the best part is just choose one and put it out there. You can type it in the chat, or you can turn your microphone on and just talk. Okay, so moving a strat plan to an operational plan. Oh, yes. That's like taking an idea and turning it into reality. How do you actually do it? And it's interesting. I think you have a typo. You said it's a herd.
It's a herd. Sorry, I'm on now. I was like,
so literally
elephants. It's not one, it's a herd.
It's not a typo. So there's a herd of elephants. So the biggest one sounds like moving this strat plan to an operational plan. Yes. So taking the idea and turning it into reality. We have some tools in store for you today. And Tanya, you have to leave early. So I'm going to go a bit fast because I want to make sure I can share those tools with you.
Okay.
Any other elephants? Just to want to get them out of the way before we go any further.
That the whole return to the office and how to manage a staff on how to do that, and what, you know, how we should be navigating what as an employer, what are your rights? How do you, like, what are the expectations of staff, and how do you keep them happy as well?
Yes. Okay. Return to the office. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good elephant. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Anything else before we go any further? No? Okay, I'm going to go. So here's the thing. You talked about kind of, Tanya, you talked about what are the expectations of staff? How do you lead them back to the office? How do you actually turn this strategic plan into operation? These are all leadership questions, really, because you're leading, you're inspiring, you're motivating other people to take action. So I want to just question all of you to just let me know, like, what do you think it takes to be a leader in 2021? Type in the chat or just feel free to turn your microphone on and say what's on your mind. What does it take to lead right now?
I think you have to be innovative, like ready to to change, be open to change.
Yep, totally.
Be innovative. Yeah.
Amazing. Yep, totally. Anything else?
I think there's a big role for empathy and understanding that the past, almost 2 years has been really hard for everyone, but in very different ways. And just understanding that coming back into kind of like the before times, everyone's going to have a different reaction. So empathy and patience and understanding.
Yep, that totally. The empathy, the understanding. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Anything else? Okay, so now I'm going to give away what the studies say, and it's interesting. So I just want to acknowledge that a lot of you actually already know the answers. You already knew the answers. You're in touch with what does it really take to lead. So this is a study that McKinsey did in 2020 about what the evidence says that it takes to lead in 2021 and beyond. So the first one is cognitive skills. So I think Tanya said innovation and change. So problem solving, creativity, innovation. So those cognitive skills. The second one is social and emotional intelligence. So that's where that empathy, that understanding comes in. The ability to create and grow relationships, because things are different. Things are changing. It's not the way we built relationships before is not necessarily the same. And we're not necessarily going to go back to the way things were in 2019. And then the third one is, again, that change, adaptability, and resilience. So that self-awareness, self-confidence, and self-reliance. And you guys actually, everybody here, I don't think you suffer from this misconception, but a lot of people do. There's this big myth out there, especially for junior people who are starting out their careers, that technical skills and years of experience equal great leadership. But the truth is, leadership is more about influence. It's the ability to navigate relationships and connect with human beings. And that piece of the puzzle, it's not so straightforward to learn, right? You could take a course to learn the technical skills. Somebody can show you how to operate a machine, how to operate a piece of software, but teaching someone how to influence is a little bit harder. But we're going to talk about how to do that today. So our goal for this session that we have together is for you to learn 3 strategies that you can apply tomorrow. I have a little typo on the slide. Apologies on that. I'm going to fix that one later. So thank you for not judging me on that. But I'm going to give you a strategy that you can apply starting tomorrow. And that is a principle of ambition theory, that we actually take action right away to implement what we learned. And I'm going to go a bit quicker because I know Tanya has to leave. And I want to make sure we get to that point. So the first strategy is managing your mindset. The second strategy is working with your head up and delivering value. And the third strategy is creating opportunities through sponsorship. Then I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about the Ambition Theory membership, which is a coaching program that we have. And we have a special offer just for you because you showed up on this beautiful July day. So the managing your mindset, this is so, so important, especially, I know someone, I think it was Jen, said, working from home, feeling stuck. It's really easy to kind of, stay below the line. And I love this image because it helps you to see where are you. So basically when you're below the line, you're blaming other people, you're making excuses, you're focusing on what is not working. You could potentially be playing the victim, you're creating obstacles, you're focused on problems, you're blocking yourself, you're waiting for other people to make decisions, you're finding fault in other people. And have you ever heard that saying, misery loves company? So when people are below the line, when you're around negative people who are making excuses, not moving forward, that energy is contagious. So they will take all their energy and they will suck you down to that level when you're around people that are below the line. But the opposite is also true. So when you're above the line, you are having hope, you're being proactive, you're owning failure, you're seeing possibilities, you're being accountable, you're taking responsibility, you're collaborating, you're seeking feedback, and you're providing feedback. And then that helps you to move forward. So I want to just check in with all of you right now. How are you feeling today? Are you kind of above the line? Are you on the line? And are you below the line? And I am not going to judge you. I don't want you to judge each other. And this is a real thing. And some people ask me, because I am very positive, I'm very energetic. They're like, Andrea, are you always above the line? No, absolutely not. I go below the line often. I go below the line often. And sometimes throughout the day, sometimes I'm above the line, sometimes I'm below the line. But the cool thing about this tool is when you're able to recognize where you are, you get to decide what to do about it. So if you know you're below the line, you can say, you know what, I need to do something about it. I need to take action. I need to ask a question. I need to get curious. One of my clients actually uses this model to schedule her day. She's like, you know what, I am below the line this morning. I was going to make a really important sales call today. And you know what, I am below the line right now. Today is not the day. So she will schedule her day around this model. And then when she's feeling above the line, she was like, you know what, today's the day where I make all those sales calls, because these sales calls are going to be a lot more successful if I am above the line. So it's a really cool tool that you can use to, get yourself above the line if you need to, but also recognize that, this is a real time, and maybe doing something really, really important where the stakes are high. Today's not the best day to do that activity. So Jen is fluctuating throughout the day. How are you feeling right now, Jen? Are you above, on, below?
I think it's been 18 minutes and I feel much more above the line than I did when we first started.
Oh, yes. So that is for showing up. So that's like an example of taking action, right? You said you fluctuate throughout the day. So depending where you're at today, you showed up, you're around people who are interested in their development. So that positive energy around you, honestly, just by showing up at 18 minutes, it shows. It's contagious, right? You're getting above that line because you decided to show up, turn the Zoom on, and then you decided to participate. So you didn't just show up, you're actually participating. So those are all behaviors that will push you to above the line. So thank you for sharing that. And I want to share with you a few more ideas that you can do to get yourself above the line if you're feeling below the line. Because it happens to everybody, and it's totally normal. So the first one is gratitude. So just focusing on one thing that you are grateful for. And sometimes for me, Nikki's saying they typically fluctuate as well. Yeah. So going back to gratitude, sometimes I'm very below the line, especially during the last lockdown. It was very difficult for me. I have 3 children. They were home. I couldn't focus on work. They were asking for my attention all the time. And some days I write in a journal every morning. The only thing I could think of to be grateful for was hot coffee. And literally that's all I had. I just wrote down hot coffee. But because I forced myself to pick one thing to look at it, it actually pushed me a little bit above the line. Then I could actually think of a couple more things. I'd usually be able to think of 3 things on that day. But sometimes the only thing I could think of was the coffee that I was drinking. The second one is get curious. So ask a question and then ask another question. And then ask another question and keep asking questions. And that will push you a little bit above that line. The last one, which Jen talked about, is surrounding yourself with positive people. So above the line thinking is contagious, and so is below the line. So if you're around people that are below the line, that are negative all the time, they're going to pull you down to that level. But the opposite is also true. The other thing is it goes with this curiosity. It's really just check in with yourself and think about, what is making me feel this way? Because sometimes it could be something simple, like, you know what, I don't like my office. I don't like the lighting in my office. That's what's making me feel this way. And then maybe you go work downstairs on the dining room table that day, and that could help you just get above the line. Or maybe now that coffee shops are opening up, you go to a coffee shop, or just really figuring out what it is that's making you feel below the line. Because once you know what it is, then you can do something about it. And then the last one is take action. Take the smallest viable action to move forward. And sometimes that small action is just checking in with yourself. Sometimes that's all it takes, and you just get started. And once you take that first step, usually the next step becomes clearer. So not overthinking it, not having to have, I know someone, I think it was Tanya, said this operational plan is overwhelming. That's a big elephant. Not trying to be like, you know what, I got to have all 100 steps of this and roles and responsibilities all figured out before I can do it. It just take the smallest first step, which is, you know what, maybe I need to, I don't know, tell my team about this plan. And the action is book the meeting with the team. Order some donuts to get delivered to people's houses, whatever. Take a very small action. And once you've taken that first tiny action, the next action becomes clear. So the second tool is head up versus head down working. So when you are down, head down in the grind, you're just like, you know, that feeling where you have like that never ending to-do list. There's just like, there's just so many things and I just keep checking them off and the list never stops. I never finish it. And you're just like working, and nobody notices you. And you could work extra hours, but nobody's noticing what you're doing. The other idea is lifting your head up and delivering value. So that's when you are delivering value to your company, you are kind of working towards your goals and you're doing things that people notice, because it is really important for people to notice you. When you don't get ahead, when you're kind of head down in the grind, working it out all the time, just focus on the things on your to-do list, you're not creating a big impact and people will not notice you. You won't get a promotion, you won't get a raise, you won't get put on the really cool projects. But when you have your head up, people can see you, people can see the value that you're contributing to the company's goals. They'll notice you, they'll want to work with you, they'll want to give you more interesting things to work on. So that is what you want to do. Keep your head up, looking for opportunities and delivering value. And I know this is kind of an ambiguous concept, head down versus head up. And I want to show you a very simple tool to help you get less overwhelmed and get more and move yourself forward without working the more hours, without having to, you know, put in all of that time. So if you look at this picture, this is the pebbles versus boulders, and we use this all the time at Ambition Theory. So on the left is, so I want you to imagine that you are on a beach and you have two options. So option one is you can take both hands and you pick up 2 handfuls of pebbles and you throw them into the water and they make a whole bunch of little splashes. And there's people on the beach and they're just, you know, going about their business. They don't really notice anything that's going on. So that's option one. And option two is you take both hands, you use all your energy and you pick up that boulder on the right and you throw it in to the water and it makes a huge splash and everybody stops what they're doing and they say, wow, look at that. What is going on there? That is the difference between a pebble and a boulder move. And what I want you to do and how you apply this tool is you take your to-do list and be honest with yourself. Of these things on your to-do list, what is a pebble and what is a boulder? And once you've identified that, make sure you work on one boulder every single day. And that is how you go from head up versus head down. And that is how you get people to notice you. You deliver more value. You contribute more to your company when you're focusing on those boulders and you're focusing on that one big thing that people are going to notice. So the third strategy is creating opportunities. And I want to talk about the difference between mentorship and sponsorship. And I don't know about you, but for my entire career, people told me, Andrea, if you want to be successful, you need to get a mentor. You need to find people who are ahead of you and ask them for advice. And so I did that. So I went out, I asked people to tell me stories. I spent hours in coffee shops getting advice from people on how to move my career forward. So they would tell me stories, they'd give me books to read, they'd give me ideas of how I could, you know, do the thing that I wanted to do to achieve my goals. But the challenge would be I would leave these sessions, these coffees, and I'd be all inspired. Wow, that person's like so great. They have such an inspirational story. They gave me so many good ideas. But I'd be back at my desk and be like, okay, now how do I implement this? How do I implement this? Like, yeah, it's great. Tell me to read the book, but I got all this knowledge. How do I actually apply it? Or maybe they would name drop people. They're like, you know what? This is the person you need to meet. You should follow them on LinkedIn. They'd be like, okay, follow them on LinkedIn. They have no idea who I am. So why would they want to respond to my LinkedIn message? So that is how the definition of mentorship. But on the flip side, there's this concept called sponsorship, which I talk about a lot. I feel like it's the topic I talk about the most. The difference between mentorship and sponsorship is about exposure and opportunity. So in a mentoring relationship, I'll give you an example. Say you're interested in business development. You're a junior person. You're like, I'm ready. I want to learn about business development. So you go to someone senior and say, hey, I'm interested in business development. Can you help me learn about it? And what they'll say is like, read this book, look at the org chart, find the people in business development. Oh, maybe like practice doing a pitch presentation. And you're like, great. So you're getting all this advice and you're getting all this presentation, all this preparation. They're preparing you for the situation. And then on the flip side, if someone is sponsoring you, it'd be like, hey, senior person, I'm interested in business development. And then a sponsoring response would be, hey, you're interested in business development? Great. I have a Zoom call with the VP of business development tomorrow morning. Why don't you join me? Then you get invited to that meeting. So you get to meet that vice president of business development. Then in the meeting, you know what? They introduce you. You say, oh, I'm really interested in business development. The VP says, hey, I got a potential client call tomorrow. Why don't you come along? And then in that call, they're like, hey, you know what? I was going to present 10 slides. Why don't you take the first 3 and I'll be here to back you up. I can step in if you need it. Why don't you take the first 3 and I'll do the rest? And the difference is that when you're getting sponsored, you're actually getting that opportunity and you're learning as you go. And this will accelerate your career. Because if you think about it, who is going to progress faster? The person getting the advice or the person getting the opportunity. So really looking for that opportunity. And when you're working with your head up, when you're focusing on those boulders, you'll be able to see those opportunities. But when you got your head down in the grind, just focusing on the to-do list, you're not able to see these opportunities for sponsorship. Am I confusing anybody? Let me know if I am, because I can explain this a little bit more. Just tell me in the chat or turn your microphone on. Because this is a really powerful tool. This flip, it's a flip in your head. You're good. Okay. So I want to break it down even further because it's great. It's a great concept, but I want to really help you to figure out how do I actually find a sponsor? And I want to tell you, it doesn't matter what level of the organization you are at, you always need sponsors. You should always be looking for sponsors, even if you're the CEO. So if you're the CEO of a company, you need to look for people to sponsor you. That could be other people in your industry, maybe suppliers, maybe customers, looking for those people outside of your company. If you're at the very top, if you're in the organization, it's good to have a sponsor inside your company, but also sponsors outside of your company because you want to diversify your network. So the first step is showing people what you are capable of. So here's the thing about sponsorship and mentorship. If I'm going to mentor you, if you're like, Andrea, I want to hear some advice from you, great. I can give you all the advice. I can tell you stories. I can give you tips. But at the end of the day, if you implement it or if you don't implement it, it doesn't matter. There's no skin in the game for me because I haven't actually put anything on the line by just sharing the advice. So in order to really have a sponsoring relationship, you actually need to align your relationships, align your reputation with the person. So for example, if that person presenting the first 3 slides in that client meeting, if they screwed up, that actually looks bad on the VP of business development because they have skin in the game. So that's the main difference between mentoring and sponsoring. So sponsorship, both people have skin in the game. Mentoring, only the mentee has skin in the game. So you actually, you can't just go up and find it. There's not a sign-up sheet for a sponsor. There's a lot of sign-up sheets for mentoring programs, giving that advice. People give advice freely. They don't care if you're mentoring someone. It doesn't matter if the person you're mentoring is good or not because your relationship is not, your reputation isn't aligned with them. But in sponsoring, you cannot just sign up a sheet and a sponsor comes. You have to kind of play the rules. You kind of have to navigate it, and it happens a little bit organically, but you can be intentional about it. So the first thing you need to do is show them what you're capable of. So really ask yourself these questions. What does a potential sponsor need to know about me so that they are comfortable aligning their reputation with mine? So how can you show them that you're good and worthy? Think about that. How can you demonstrate what you're capable of? The second one is get really clear on your own goals. So what are you striving for in your career? Once you know that, you can share this with the potential sponsor, and then in the back of their mind, when they see an opportunity, you'll be the first one that comes to mind. So they need to know what you're trying to achieve in your career, so they can be on the lookout for opportunities for you. The other thing, and this is where a lot of people miss, and they talk to me, they're like, wow, Andrea, I never thought about it this way. You need to understand their goals. So sponsoring is not just it's not just the senior person giving to the junior. There's actually a lot in it for the senior person for sponsoring people. And one example is I had a client talk to me. She was at a very big financial services company. And she had a sponsor. She wasn't really sure how it was working. And what her sponsor said to her, was, you know what, you're my eyes and ears on the ground. You tell me what the employees are talking. You're like, you can let me know what the employees are talking about. Because when you're at a very senior level, if you're at a VP or a C-level executive position, you don't actually know what the middle managers are talking about. You don't actually know what is going on for them. What are people talking about? And that's the kind of information that you as a more junior person can share with your sponsor. And it's very, very valuable. So a really important thing is get really curious about this sponsor or a potential sponsor about what they are striving for in their career. What do they want? And look for ways to add value. Like, how can you help them achieve their goals? What information can you provide them? What people can you introduce them to? So really getting that clarity on what they are striving for. And then the last one is asking for an opportunity. So people often get stuck in that mentoring relationship. A lot of people ask, please tell me all this advice. I want to hear how to be successful. I want you to give me the roadmap. People get stuck in that way because we've been told to find a mentor. We've been told to ask for advice. My whole career I have, and it's really interesting and nuanced that to look at it from a sponsorship perspective. So the last thing is ask for the opportunity. If they're not getting it automatically, you can say, hey, I really want to whatever. I really need to learn about maybe operations, right? Maybe you don't have a good relationship with a senior person in operations. Maybe you find somebody to be like, hey, I need to learn more about operations. Can you, I know you are friends with, this person in operations. Can you introduce me to them? Sometimes it's just simply asking and remembering that you can ask. And most people are willing to help when you ask them, as long as you've shown them that you're capable and offered them something potentially in return, because people love to help. People like to help and people like to be helped by others. So now I want to just take a minute, and nobody does this. And this is a great exercise for you. I think it's Jen. You're thinking about like, really, where do I want to go? What is possible? So I want you to just take a minute, because we don't do this in our society. We're very head down. We're very focused on that to-do list. I want you to take a couple of minutes and just imagine what would be possible for you and your career if you were working with your head up, if you had the tools to be above the line, and if you're surrounded by people who were above the line all the time, and if you had a sponsor to open doors from you. Just allow yourself to imagine. And again, I'm not going to judge you. And I want you to either turn your microphone on or type it in the chat.
Yeah, it's so funny that when you said that and I wrote it down, what is possible if my head's up, above the line, people helping me open doors. And it's just like, I can see exactly what it looks like.
Okay, describe it to me.
I am a sponsorship. So I work in sponsorship for not-for-profits for a film festival, director of sponsorship marketing and partnerships. But what I really actually want to do is more mentorship of other organizations and consulting and working with really small groups that don't have the intelligence or the background to develop a sponsorship or strategic partnership program. And I already know a whole bunch of people who do similar things, but on the more philanthropic side. So there's definitely kind of a gap in the sponsorship marketing partnerships area. So I just like literally just in 10 seconds, I can picture exactly what it looks like.
Amazing. Okay, write that down and keep it. Because if you write this down, a note, you are 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. So take this vision, Jen, and write it down right now. Don't worry about it being perfect. Just write it down, get it on paper. So Nikki says they're currently a safety manager and they plan to reach safety director and then safety vice president. Yes, that is amazing. So definitely, Nikki, write that down. Save it, get it out of your head, get it out of the chat. Because literally when you're 42% more likely to achieve something if you write down with the old school pen and paper. So write that down right now. Anyone else want to share what they can imagine? Okay, so now I'm going to take a couple minutes to talk to you about Ambition Theory. So I just want to check in with all of you that that's okay that I take about 15 minutes to tell you about our company, Ambition Theory, and our new membership program, which we launched in 2021. And then I'll tell you about a special offer that we have for you. And after that, I will open up the floor for questions. So is everyone okay if I tell you about our membership program and how it works? Just type a yes or no in the chat. Yes? Okay, awesome. So I want to talk about what can happen in our members. So this is a quote from Annette, who is one of our founding members. So she said, "I didn't really know what I wanted until you challenged me to imagine what was really possible. I went into my boss's office, described the new role I wanted, and they created it for me. I am happy. I got everything I wanted and more." So this is the kind of thing that that happens to our members. Tara, who's a graphic designer here in Halifax, said, "I wanted to tell you that since joining Ambition Theory, my Q4 revenue for 2020 is a 300% increase over Q1. And something that Tara tells me all the time, she's like, Ambition Theory pays for itself. Like, it doesn't matter how much it costs, because yeah, Ambition Theory pays for itself. The membership fee pays for itself. And this is from Elise, who is a marketing coordinator in financial services industry. She said, "Since I joined a year ago, I've gotten a promotion and I've built my professional brand regionally and nationally. My success is largely attributed to the program. I would not be as confident and as successful as I am without it." And this one is from Michael Hartley, who is the CEO of Mindtail Technologies. He said, "This community provided me with personal connections that are more difficult to foster in the current climate. Through this network, I have made much deeper inroads into an industry that was seemingly impenetrable." And this is what we do in Ambition Theory. So we help you become that sought after professional that people want to work with, that want to have you on their team, that want to open doors for you. We kind of help you with that that internal belief system, so that you actually believe you have what it takes to succeed. You believe you have what it takes to make that money, get that promotion, make that career change, do the thing that you want to do. And then the best part, which is my favorite part personally, is that you're surrounding yourself with people who want to achieve the same level of success that you are. Just like, I think it was Jen or Tanya said this before, they were below the line. And then within 18 minutes of being on this session today, they actually felt more above the line. So that's what happens when you surround yourself with people who are taking action, who are moving forward, who are lifting their head up and opening doors for other people. It's pretty magical what happens when you are around people who are looking to achieve the same level of success that you are. So what is included in an Ambition Theory membership? So it's a monthly membership program. So there's a monthly fee. And what you get is group coaching with yours truly. So I'm a certified executive coach. You get live networking with Jody, the chief growth officer, every single month. So you can expand your network. And Jody, you can meet people within the membership, but Jody will also give you strategies on how do you build your network in your company? How do you build your network in your industry? Thought leadership. So you get to meet industry experts, published authors, and keynote speakers at our live guest speaker events every single month. You develop the skills that you need to lead. So you get skills training every single month to get one step closer to your leadership goals. Connect with other members. So you're around people who are looking to achieve the same level of success that you are, who can support you, who can cheer you on, who can challenge you to get yourself to that next level. And then an online training library. So depending on what you're interested in, what you need to learn, we have a whole bunch of online courses that you can take to really help you develop to your potential. So a couple examples are, we have a money mindset course, so really go kind of below the surface a little bit to understand your mindset around money. We also have a workshop on boundary setting. We have one on conflict. There's a whole bunch of workshops that you can access live on demand in our training library. So here's all the things that you get. So group coaching with me every single month. You get to come. It's just like this. I coach you, I challenge you, I help you figure out where you want to go and make the plan to make it happen for you. We do that every single month. Networking every single month. So you're meeting other members. You're also learning strategies to network in your own industry and in your own company, because business is made by people and you need those relationships. You need people to open doors for you. We will also help you literally break it down. If you're like, I like that concept of sponsorship, Andrea, how do I actually do it in my company? It's not coming clear to me. We will hold your hand. We will help you figure that out. We will break down the steps with you so that you can kind of create those sponsorship relationships. And then thought leadership. So we have authors, we have industry experts and keynote speakers. This is a picture of Fotini Ikonomopoulos, who came and spoke to us a couple months ago. She is a negotiation expert and the author of Say Less, Get More, which is a brand new book that just came out a couple months ago. So she taught us skills to get raises, negotiate contracts. And I have to say, she is one of my favorite speakers. I love all of our speakers, but she's been very practical, because our members are using the tools that she taught us like every single month. So things like Elise getting a raise, Tara getting to that 300% revenue increase. These are the tactical tools that our speakers will be teaching you. And we have different ones every month, and they're recorded. So you have access to them as part of your membership. So you could go back and listen to Fotini's talk if you want. And Sandra is here. So Sandra is our manager of member success. So Sandra is here. You can wave to everybody. You get accountability. So Sandra's job is to become obsessed with your goals, help you get the most out of your membership, help you figure out, what do I need? Where do I need to go? Where should I get started? Do I need more coaching? Do I need to grow my network? What courses should I take? And Sandra will give you that accountability to keep moving forward, keep yourself moving forward in your career and giving you the tools that you need, so you're not wasting your time. So Sandra will kind of help you curate on where you need to show up and where you'll get the most value, because what we don't want, we want to give you results in the least amount of time. And Sandra will help you do that. And then skills training. So we have a new skill every single month, and they're leadership skills. So you get one step closer to reaching your leadership goals. And we also just launched, actually, so Sandra is also a holistic health coach. We just launched a wellness session that we have that we're going to be, we did our first one last week, which was really, really great, talking about the connection between the whole body and your leadership skills, because it's great to say I'm a leader, but you need to look at you as a whole person. So looking at leadership from a whole health perspective, that's another skill that we've just added literally this month to our membership. So that's really exciting. You can connect with other members. This is something that I love. So you're surrounding yourself with people who are looking to achieve the same level of success that you are. And this is an event that we did with the Glenlivet. And everybody got to meet a Glenlivet ambassador, learn about Scotch, try the product, and really hear the story about how the Glenlivet is challenging stereotypes about who drinks Scotch. So making it really approachable and have a lot of fun with people. So we also have our online training library, so you can learn a new skill on demand. So if you're like realizing, you know what, I need to go into a salary negotiation, or I need to negotiate this contract, you know what, I should work on my money mindset the week before so that you are ready to go. You have the skills, the tools that you need in order to deliver at that moment. So we have lots of trainings in our online training library to make sure you have the resources you need to be successful. So the monthly membership includes, there's live skills training, live guest speakers, live group coaching, the online training library, business development strategy with Jody, live networking, community support, and access to the fabulous Sandra Grillo, our manager of member success. And if you bought all of these things separately, it would probably cost you about $1,100 each month. But that is not how much the Ambition Theory membership costs. That's just what is included. So we've packed a lot of value into this membership. You also get a bonus. You get an Ambitious Everyday journal in the mail. So you're writing down your goals. There's a spot to write down what you're grateful for. There's a spot to write down your accomplishments, so that you're having that accountability every single week. And this comes in the mail, so you have something physical, because like I said before, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down with a pen and paper. And we want to make sure you can achieve your goals. So you get this in the mail as well as part of your membership. You can also invite friends or colleagues. So when you're talking about value, building relationships, you can bring someone to one of our guest speaker talks. So Fotini, for example, you could invite friends to meet a best-selling author, and you can invite them to that talk, and that's a part of it as well. So that is a $100 value. So if you're going to buy tickets to an event like that, you would have to pay for it, but that is included in your membership. And so we have, the cost of the membership is $150 a month, but because you showed up on this fabulous sunny July afternoon, we have a special offer for you, and it is a lifetime membership price of $100 a month. So you get everything that's included in the membership for $100 per month, and there's no contract. So you can sign up for a month, and if it's not for you, you can cancel it. So there's really no risk in joining. And I know you're thinking, that sounds great, Andrea, but it's summer. I don't have time to take on something new. And I want to tell you about Kaylee. So Kaylee was one of our clients, and she worked with us last June. And I don't know if you remember last June, but daycares were closed. So Kaylee's a project manager in the construction industry. She had a 2-year-old. Her 2-year-old was home. She signed up and she did coaching with us. And she said, Andrea, the boulders and the pebbles, that you helping me really figure that out and having the support from the community to actually implement it helped me to create more time. So it actually helped me to create more time, not only to participate in the content, to participate in with the membership, but to actually take on bigger projects in my job, to keep my head up, looking for those opportunities. And 3 months later, so in September, she emailed me. She's like, hey, Andrea, just want to let you know, I got a promotion. So this idea of time, working with Ambition Theory, we are helping you to use your time better and actually create the time that you need to do the important things in your life, in work, so that you can actually have time to do fun things in your spare time. So that's something to think about, is that we're really focused on helping you create the time to participate in the membership, but also create that time to focus on the things that really matter, that are going to move your career forward. And now you're thinking, money is too tight right now. Yep, I get it. Money. I have 3 kids, and one of my kids is in hockey and he's a goalie. So I get it. Money is an issue. But I want to talk about what happens when you have these tools, when you have the support. So you heard from Elise. She got a promotion because of what she learned in our membership. Tara said her revenue is increased by 300% from Q1 to Q4. The other thing to think about is, if you're not sure if this is for you, you can try it out. You can cancel. Oh, Jen is saying, take my money. Okay. I'll send you a link to sign up in a couple of minutes. Actually, Sandra, can you get the link to the membership and put it in the chat so that Jen can sign up? So yeah, if it's not for you, you could just cancel after a month, and that's totally fine. So it's really no risk of joining. And I know you're thinking, what is the difference between Ambition Theory and other memberships or associations? And that is a really good question. So one thing that's different about us is that we actually bring in professional coaching. So professional coaching is what we do. It's about holding you accountable to create your own solutions. A lot of other associations just have the guest speakers that are talking at you. And I want to share so that's the main difference. Our community is all online. It's totally virtual, and you have people from all over Canada. We have people from the US and we have people from the UK in our membership. So you're learning alongside other people that are very, very motivated. It's on demand, so you can access it at any time. And you get access to Jody and I. And I think that's the biggest difference that people have said to us about what makes Ambition Theory different from being a part of another association, is that you actually get to hang out with Jody, Sandra, and I online. And you get you get to interact with us. So you're not just passively consuming that content. We're actually helping you to figure out, how do I implement this in my life? How do I implement this in my career? I know you could be thinking, oh, I'm already taking a leadership course at my company, or I'm reading books and listening to podcasts. And yes, absolutely. So I want to talk about Casey, who is one of our clients. She works at a very big company that has a very robust internal training department. And I actually asked her because I wasn't sure. She was also taking coaching with Ambition Theory and taking leadership courses inside her company, which were very good. I said, Casey, what's the difference between what you do in your company and what you do with us? Can you please explain it to me? And what she said is, the stuff in her company teaches her the skills. It teaches her, here's the steps to do things. Here's the things that you need to do to be a leader. Ambition Theory teaches me the behavioral side of things, how to actually implement it in my company to get results. So that is the difference. That's the difference. And really, we have our quadruple loop learning model. And so this is everything that we do touches on all of these. So the first one is training. Yes, we do have training. We're going to tell you, these are the steps to do things, just like I walked you through that sponsorship thing. The second thing is knowledge exchange. So that is, you're meeting with other members, you're hearing how they're implementing, you're hearing stories about how other people have applied these tools. So you can see, here's the theory, here's how other people have do it. The third loop is professional coaching. So taking it and being like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And how can you actually implement this in your own life right now? So that's where the coaching comes in. And then sponsorship is opportunity. So how do you actually take this? How do you open doors for others? How do you get other people to open doors for you? That's what we do in Ambition Theory all the time. We are obsessed with this model because we want to get people results. Just listening to a podcast doesn't actually get you results, because it's not really, they don't walk you through how to actually implement it. So that's the main difference. And the truth is, passively consuming content doesn't lead to real results. I know we've probably all gone to a leadership training course where you're sitting there for the day, someone's talking at you and you're like, yeah, that was great. But when you don't actually implement it, like you get your certificate and you're like, okay, I'm done, moving on to the next thing. So just a summary of everything that's included in the Ambition Theory membership. So it's our live skills training, the guest speakers, the group coaching, the training library, the business development strategy and networking with Jody, community support with the fantastic Sandra Grillo, and access to all of our members. So you're meeting people who are taking action, setting goals, and making things happen for themselves. And you get the bonus in the mail. You get a copy of the Ambitious Everyday Journal. And so if you bought all these things separately, it would be about $1,100 a month. But for you, because you showed up, you get it for $100 per month for life. So that is forever. And the regular price is $150. And we have this offer available for you for the next 7 days. So over the next week, if you join, you get it for $100 a month. But if you go to our website next week or in 2 weeks, you'll have to pay the regular price, which is $150 per month. And so now it's your decision. So you could keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, or you could join now and become the leader that you want to be. And you can sign up today. It is really risk-free. So there's no contract. You can cancel anytime. And we also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. We're very specific on it, though, because we know our program works. So in order to try it, if you're curious, you can try it out, but you need to show up to an event every single month. You need to take your new member onboarding with Sandra. You need to take all of the steps. If you do the steps inside the membership and you still feel like you got no value, we will actually give you your money back. So there's no risk. If you want to try it out, you can absolutely try it out, but you have to show up. You have to do the work. And if you do the work and you still don't get results, let us know and we will give you a refund. So if you sign up today, again, it's over the next week, you get it for $100 per month, and that is forever. So you're always locked in. We won't raise the price in the future. Any questions?
My only question is, if I sign up, what happens next, and kind of what is the timeline that I could expect?
Yeah, so if you sign up, actually, I'll let Sandra answer that question. Sandra is our manager of member success.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Perfect. So then what happens next? Well, you would receive a link to join the membership. And from there, you would realize it's very much like a typical social network where you would have a profile. And we encourage you to fill out your profile so that you can introduce yourself to the community in a way. It'll ask you your location. It'll ask you to introduce a little bit about yourself. We encourage everyone to really fill out their profile so that you can start building that bit of a network within the community and get to know each other. You'd notice that there's kind of a running feed down the middle, and everything that happens within the community or gets posted within the community happens within that feed. On the left-hand side, there's also ways to navigate where you could easily access upcoming events and the skills training. But best of all, I offer at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, I offer an onboarding session. So it'd be just like this, where I would take you through the whole process and how to maximize your membership. So that's everything from how to use the actual web app, how to use it on your phone, which is super convenient and accessible anywhere you are. I would then also talk about other ways to maximize your membership, about attending events and even using your journal and things like that. So I also offer office hours where you can just come in and chat with other members. It's kind of an open room, and the topics are varied. So everybody just comes in and has a great conversation. So essentially what happens next is you get a full immersion into the community, a full, uploading of everything that goes on within Ambition Theory, and really you hit the ground running. And it's my job to make sure that you do so as successfully as possible and really maximize your membership starting from day one.
Yeah, the other thing interesting, on Thursday, we do have Ambitious Everyday coaching. So Jen, if you do join now, you could actually join us on Thursday, where we kind of go a bit deeper on figuring out like, where do you want to go? We take that picture that was in your mind and we make it clearer, so that you're very focused on like, this is where I'm going. And these are kind of like the first steps to get me there. And then you'll kind of, we do it in a group. So you'll get that coaching literally like on Thursday. If you sign up today, where the next one is happening on Thursday. So
I will be there on Thursday.
Amazing. I'm excited to see you. I'll be excited to see you. So yeah, so Sandra posted the link in the community. And also, when you register, you'll get an automatic email. Sandra, I'm just going to speak for you. Feel free to reach out to Sandra if anything is confusing, because I don't want you to miss Thursday, because it's happening quickly. So just reach out to Sandra or me actually, and let us know. So you just make sure you get the right link to join us on Thursday. Anything else?